a large share of every company in the world in their credit business and in their equity. And so we're perceived as a long-term investor, a partner with all these corporations. A few weeks ago, our Microsoft MGX, right,
September 17th, breakthrough.
And it's about BlackRock helping and playing a role. How are we doing it? I think it's, we also had our 25th anniversary a couple of weeks ago, or last week. I think we positioned the firm to take advantage of the growing capital markets worldwide. I think the foundational belief when we started the company 37 years ago, when we went public 25 years ago, was about more and more of the world's economic growth will be financed through the capital markets. And we positioned ourselves in that in all different measures. In 2009, when we did the acquisition of BGI, we had a belief that ETFs are going to be one of the vehicles in which we're going to be doing more and more economic activity. When we bought BGI iShares at $340 billion, today is $4.2 trillion. Even in 2012, when I think on this show I said ETFs are becoming the major engine for fixed income, we crossed $1 trillion of fixed income ETFs. And now what we are seeing through the capital markets is the blending of privates and publics. I think we're going to see portfolios that are going to be looking at publics and privates in a blended way. And that's why analytics and data are going to be even more and more important in the private area. We acquired Frequent. We'll close that at year end. I think that'll be the major component of making privates even larger and the role of the capital markets even bigger. So we're seeing now private credit becoming more the domain of the capital markets, away from banking and insurance. This is all a part of the growth of the capital markets. And BlackRock's now positioning over the next 5 years of becoming a large-scale player in India, and we are working on creating a whole new retirement platform in India with our partners Geo. So all of this is just building on the capital markets.
Crypto ETFs, and it sounds like you're getting closer to a broader rollout here. I'm curious what you see as the total addressable market for you and what the upside looks like at this point in time.
Well, to take a step back just for a second, the overall evolution of technology that now creates for digital assets the ability to have new wrappers for assets. We've been investing in that space. We see it as part of our innovation journey to be preparing for the future. And we've had clients come to us and say, gosh, you are the world's largest at some of these things that you do. Can you help us as we, the client, moves forward into crypto and tokenized assets? So we believe in DLT. We believe in tokenization. We think digital assets are quite interesting for the future. And we've been preparing our businesses to respond to the client request to come and help them in that journey. And that's really been the focus that we've had in crypto.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And I come back with that video just to make you think.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And make sure you join the Patrons. If you're not a part of the Patrons, make sure you're hitting the Cash App. And also, guys, make sure you go like and follow the TikTok. More videos to come. And we finally have BlackRock's Larry Fink admits the company owns everything. A piece of every company, credit, business, and equity. And remember, guys, it's only been 37 years. But what he leaves out is how was they able to do it so fast? That's right, Aladdin. And I've been over what Aladdin means. Letting the genie out the bottle is all about the gin. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you. Now we have BNY. And if we go back to the heir, we know he passed. We're not going to get into that one. But we know he was an early investor in the crypto ecosystem. Now we have Warren Buffett's Berkshire selling Bank of America and going all in on Fintech, the Brazil new bank. And who signed the executive order to research these Fintech banks? That's right, Trump. And we know Warren Buffett and Berkshire is going all in on these fintech banks because of the digital assets. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you. And we have AI company writer using synthetic data. And guys, we know what's coming. Everything is synthetic. Nothing is real. And they're going to be mimicking real data, but it has no real personal information. Just going off patterns and statistics. And that's where it gets dangerous. And that's the reason why it's so important for you to understand this technology. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. And we had the Tesla event yesterday, and it was nothing but a movie. And we know the media is downplaying it, but Tesla has plenty of GPS data. Uber has plenty of personal data. Waymo has real world data. And when it comes to these corporations, there is no such thing as competition. The big corporations and big banks are working together. So they're going to bring it all together in order to move the fourth industrial revolution. Whether robots, algorithms, and drones take the economy over, pay each other with crypto, and the sheep go inside the metaverse. And remember, the crypto teacher told you, because he knows when it comes to the NWO, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway selling 9.5 million shares of Bank of America over 3 days. Buffett began shedding the bank stock back in mid-July. He's been unloading quite a few positions lately. He's also sold so much that he no longer has to report sales of the stock quite so promptly. Bank of America is up, nevertheless, 5% today at $41.95. But Buffett isn't down on the entire bank sector. As a matter of fact, Berkshire is one of the largest shareholders in Brazil's Nubank, which is up around 60% this year. Kate Rooney taking a deeper look at that name. That's not one we usually follow, Kate.
That's right, Tyler, and I love a good mystery chart. So the name is Nubank. It's been an under-the-radar winner this year for Berkshire Hathaway. The Latin American bank, as you said, we don't talk about it every day, but it has been outperforming its counterparts, at least in North America. It's up about 60% this year, 3 times better than the S&P. Jefferies is the runner-up in Berkshire's portfolio. That's up about 55%. And then Amex, also in the top 5. Nubank is the largest digital bank outside of Asia. It's got 105 million customers across Brazil, Mexico, and Colombia. CEO David Velez used to be an investor here in the U.S. He was actually a partner at Sequoia. He tells me they were able to leapfrog some of the incumbent banks in Brazil by going fully digital. He said he was actually surprised when Warren Buffett initially got interested, but he says that the Berkshire team was able to look past some of the headwinds of operating in Latin America. They invested pre-IPO and then doubled their bet. Velez argues that navigating an uncertain market in LATAM has kept them more nimble.
There is macro volatility, there is political volatility, there is interest rates happening, there is scandals all the time. I think what this creates, frankly, is it's a continuous paranoia in that you can never get comfortable because things are going to change. And it forces a level of just speed in how you make decisions inside the organization. It forces you to be extremely dynamic.
Startup Writer is aiming to fix one of the big problems facing generative artificial intelligence, the massive cost of training models. Its solution? Synthetic data, or data created by AI. That's allowed the company to train its latest model, released this week, for about $700,000. Now, that compares to millions of dollars for competitors like ChatGPT. The company is currently raising funds at a nearly $2 billion valuation and counts Uber, Salesforce, and Vanguard among its corporate customers. So joining us now for more, in an exclusive interview, is Writer co-founder and CEO May Habib. May, it's great to have you on the show. Welcome.
Thank you, Morgan. Hello.
So before we get into the cost of the synthetic data and the cost of training language models, I want to take a step back and just sort of what does Writer offer into the enterprise market where Gen AI is concerned? How does it stack up against some of the other competitors that we do talk about day in, day out, like OpenAI?
Well, the word is stack. You said it. Companies are struggling to adopt generative AI at scale. And what we do, we call a full stack approach to generative AI. So it's the large language models plus the critical tools that companies need to customize those models for their data, for their workflows.
Okay. So when we talk about synthetic data, what does that mean? How are you able to do this at such a lower price tag than your competitors?
So first of all, our incentive is to create high performance models that enterprise customers can run in their own environment. So we are heavily incentivized to do this at a lower cost so that customers who are not GPU rich, like us, right, are able to do some pretty powerful things. And our approach to synthetic data, we've been working on for years. We have trained a separate LLM that can take real factual data, data that looks like the types of use cases that we address, and convert it to data that is synthetic, that is structured for the clean and clear training by the model.
Last conversation, my takeaway is that CEO Dara Khosrowshahi has done really an incredible job of putting Uber adjacent to robotaxis, but that is just it. It's adjacent. Uber does not have the tech itself. It's just a network that could still be disrupted. So the real winner from last night is Alphabet-owned Waymo. While Tesla hopes to start production on our Cybercab before 2027, Waymo already has a fleet of more than 700 driverless vehicles, no safety driver, delivering and charging for thousands of rides per week, and it's expanding rapidly. Now, the two key ingredients that Waymo has relied on: trust and technology. Waymo's technology, more proven and more expensive, potentially making it harder to scale. Tesla is promising an unproven combination of tech that, if it does work, has potentially higher rewards in terms of cost per mile and scalability. Now, trust is going to be just as important. As part of our Tech Check Weekly deep dive, we polled some people in New York where robotaxis are not yet available.
I wouldn't trust it.
I just kind of believe that the car should be driven by a person.
I can imagine, especially driving in Manhattan, how a driverless car can navigate people crossing, bicycles going the wrong way, e-bikes everywhere. I'm amazed how that can happen.
Going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is, it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of a huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. We will, and if we can have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Chinese bank ICBC has been hit by a ransomware attack, and the U.S. Treasury market, as a result of that, has been disrupted. This, according to the Financial Times. We're getting at more right now with Bloomberg's Shonali Bassick. Shonali, what do we know?
Listen, we have the Financial Times now reporting that ICBC, one of China's largest banks here, was hit with a ransomware attack. And remember, they're a very significant intermediary in the Treasury market. The SIFMA has told its members that this has been part of the reason here that the system is kind of clogged up, if you will, during that auction that we saw a little bit before. The attack had prevented ICBC, according to the Financial Times, from settling Treasury trades on behalf of other market participants. A large executive at a major bank also telling the paper that such a large party on the fixed income clearing corp creates major concerns, potentially impacting the liquidity of Treasury markets.
Now, it was not just a poor auction. It was absolutely lousy, and you know, when the dealers have to step in to save a treasury auction, that's a rare occurrence. And
Cryptoteacher and the new World Order book, plus the 3 kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get home stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing, they were still getting that free money. What are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. You know I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York. COVID Stories 3. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.